Have you ever heard of a ghost who also happened to be a pure artist? Maybe not, but I have to tell you, in the next video, we have quite a few fellows, and as described by the uploader of the video, it's blatant. Well, how and what led our next fella to be stuck in a paranormal situation? I wouldn't even dare to imagine myself being in his place. And who told you I was a history book that includes everything that has happened on this earth? The person hasn't mentioned anything about previous history, but he said he has experienced paranormal activity before, but it was never as apparent as this. It seems like the ghost he is dealing with this time around is built different. As Carter was chilling on his couch late at night, the ghost decided to entertain him a bit, so he picked up his piano and played a melody for him. Obviously, Carter didn't hesitate a second and took himself out. But later in a different video, which could be on the very same day when the activity occurred, he was hearing the piano playing on its own, but this time around, it was a long melody unlike the first time. The last clip for some reason takes place outside, where he was freezing, not because it was cold, but because he was too scared his red juice was running cold through his veins. The lights were flickering, and the TV was turned on for no reason.
Dude, what the?
Who's there?
I'm a bit confused with the video where he was outside. I don't know if that was all his house, but I mean, why would the neighbor have paranormal activity too? We have once discussed somebody who works in an isolated school in Argentina. Back then, I said that this man is insane because the school looks like it's ripped off a freaking nightmare of some sort. So today, I brought him back because I feel like I should give him a second chance to correct his mistake. All jokes aside, I have mentioned previously that the school he works at as a security guard has a dark reputation, but it seems like we have more details to talk about regarding the past. Since the 1970s, the school has seen a string of tragic passings. A 15-year-old student passed away in a bathroom following a failed abortion attempt. In the 1980s, a young boy said his last words while alone on school grounds. In the 1990s, a girl fell into the school's well and drowned. Attempts to bless the school by building a Virgin Mary altar only worsened the situation. Multiple people involved in its construction, including 2 bricklayers, a teacher, and a custodian, passed away unexpectedly of heart-related causes. So, it seems like this place has turned into a burial vessel, and if this person, whose name is Ragelsu, doesn't leave his job soon, if he doesn't follow them, at least he will lose his mind, because based on the amount of paranormal activities he is encountering in this school, I don't think he may last long before losing his mind. For example, in the next sequence of videos, he was once on the ground sitting, waiting for some glimpse of these ghosts, when the locker door behind him creaked open by itself. Or the other time, while he was using an app to communicate with the spirits in the place, when the door started getting hammered, it was almost like someone was trying to use the bathroom before he paints the walls with brown because someone was stuck inside the bathroom. Ragelsu opened the door, but obviously no one was there because the ghost did it. Or how about when the faucet opened on its own? And so the same goes for the shower.
¿Ustedes tomaron mis medallas? Acaba de caer aquello. Lo acaban de tirar. Eso es lo que estaba apuntando aquí. Acaba de caer. Sí, sí. No, lo acaban de tirar. Esto es lo que yo tenía para acá. O sea... ¿Ustedes lo tiraron? ¿Quién lo tiró? Sí. ¿Dónde estás? ¿Ustedes me pueden ver? Sí, dijeron que sí. Sí. ¿Te pueden manifestar de alguna manera? Sí. Hacelo. ¿Ustedes se acaban de golpear? Sí. Sí, ustedes son. A ver, hacerlo de vuelta. ¿Puedo pasar? ¿Puedo pasar? Oh, se me empezó todo el cuerpo. ¿Puedes golpear de vuelta a la puerta? ¿Quién sos? Sí, estoy aquí adentro. Acaban de abrir la canilla. Estoy aquí. ¿Puedes cerrar la puerta? Salí. ¿Quieren que salga? Sí. No, gente, ya no me está gustando nada de esto. No, yo... ¿Hay alguien que desee...? Uy, Dios. ¿Hay alguien que desee comunicarse? Salgan. Sí. ¿Cuál es tu nombre? ¿Cuál es tu nombre? Ah, no, es un loquero, gente. Me duele la cabeza cuando no se dan ni idea, les digo, ¿no? ¿Alguno de ustedes fue quien me abrió la puerta del armario? Sí. ¿Me podés decir tu nombre? No los abrieron aquí, por lo menos. Si ustedes vieran mi cara y cómo estoy ahora, no se dan una idea. Hace mucho tiempo que no sentía ganas de irme.
I believe that these ghosts do care for their cleanliness. On 2 different occasions, we saw the faucet open in the shower, which indicates they wash their hands after using the toilet, and they shower on a regular basis. How can I put this one together? Let's see, we have a lady who also happens to be a single mother of 3 children, and I don't know what the deal is with me, but every woman I mention turns out to be a single mother. Is that a sign to me of some sort? Regardless, her name is Melia and she is French, so what's the story behind her house hauntings? Well, it goes all the way back to the early 1900s, because people nowadays just want to rent places with so much history. It's some sort of a rural house. The home Melia rented sits atop the ruins of a 100-year-old country house once operated by nuns who sheltered orphans and abandoned women. Tragically, in the early 1900s, a group of men discovered the refuge and took the life of several women inside, leading the church and council to shut it down permanently. The house decayed into ruins, and a modern home was eventually built on the site, which is the house you will see in the next video. Melia heard the story of the place and said to herself, "Now that I'm single and I have a little girl, why not make things harder on me and scare the crap out of my kids?" And that's exactly what she did. She took the place. I'm not exactly sure if she knew the story of the place prior to her decision on staying in the house, but if she did, that's a big no. Anyways, not so long after they moved to this place, her daughter began telling her how scared she is due to that woman she keeps seeing on the ceiling above her with her big hands. She described her as a monster, and that was the beginning of a tale of creepy paranormal activities. For example, in the next video, when the mother was with her daughter before she went to sleep, the door right in front of her opened on its own. And that was not the only door. The closet door was also sliding back and forth. Her chandelier was swinging, and the teddy bear was seen moving its head. This is all scary, but not when you hear the next part, where you would hear whisperings in some of her videos, a sound of a male with a low pitch, and I thought it was her husband until I realized she was single.
Maman, il me fait... Et attends, mais me fais pas avec tes grandes dents.
Elle a des grandes dents?
Oui.
Oh non.
Il a les cheveux, il a dans mes souris.
Elle sourit? Ça te fait peur?
Oui. Il reste toujours sur le plafond et me regarde.
Elle te regarde et ça te fait peur?
Oui.
D'accord, mon cœur, elle va partir. Elle va partir, la dame.
Quand il n'est pas moi, il est quelqu'un plus. C'est pas Melia.
Oui, je te crois, ma fille.
Maman, il me regarde.
Fais rien, viens, viens, reste avec moi. Ne montez pas, restez avec moi. C'est un truc qui a dû tomber, c'est tout. C'est un truc qui a dû tomber.
Mon pire cauchemar en tout de bruit.
Y'a rien, je te dis bien.
C'est lui de tout ça que ça se trouve juste. Ouais, mais ça parle de Fortnite. Comment ça peut faire ce bruit?
Non, c'est quelque chose qui est tombé, mais... Oh non. Eh, vas-y, on descend, on descend.
Maman!
Oui, on descend, j'ai dit. Non, n'aie pas peur. N'aie pas peur. Je sais que c'est fatigant, c'est bon. On va se faire un petit film et un petit Un petit chocolat, c'est bon?
Laisse-moi.
Je t'ai pas touché, ma fille. Gros câlin, ma fille, viens, viens.
Il m'a tiré ses cheveux.
Ça va aller, ma fille, t'inquiète pas, je suis là. Moi.
Aïe, c'est quoi de maman?
N'aie pas peur, mon cœur, maman, elle est là.
She said that she had an argument with the owner regarding the state of the house, and she refused to pay rent for that reason. Now, I will put myself in the house owner's situation, even though she is right to be mad, but also, I don't think you're legally able to refuse to pay rent when the house is haunted. The next clip has no sound to it, so it will be like a minute of silence, except for the fact that it's longer than a minute. We have a video captured by some local resident who once decided to spread out the truth about a place many local residents are scared of, and instead of showing the world that it's indeed a safe place and nothing to be scared of, he proved them right, that the place is indeed as rumored haunted. So, how did it all start? Well, the owners of the store, which is the place that we are discussing here, were on a break during Christmas. They stayed with their family and closed the supermarket until they come back from celebrating. But residents and neighbors have spotted movements inside the market. They saw figures in the shape of humans moving around inside. Obviously, they didn't suspect that these were ghosts. They thought they were burglars, but then realized that there was no break-in, and ever since, they have spotted similar apparitions on many different occasions. Some brought up a theory that could be true, that the town that the building was in either constructed on or next to an ancient indigenous burial ground, potentially disturbing spirits laid to rest centuries ago. And as days passed, the activity became more intense and frightened the owner, pushing him beyond his limits till he had no choice but to leave the store as it was and abandon it altogether. Which leaves us with the next video, where we can see these figures moving around inside the store with some high velocity. It's inhuman. In my lifetime, I do remember seeing shadow figures in a house that was supposed to be abandoned. Though I was not in the house itself, but I saw it from a distance, that human-shaped figure appearing in that place. So I'm not really sure whether the apartment in the next video is owned by the investigator or not, since in the transcription of the video, after translating it, it says that the man has bought the property cheaply from an elderly woman. But then when I look more between the lines later, it seems like he doesn't have much idea what is in the house, as he did investigate the house previously, because it's the least he could have done for something he bought. But it was reported by the previous owner that the place is filled with creepy supernatural activities, which is the main reason why she sold it for a cheap price. It's described as a house plagued with the paranormal. Now, the owner was obviously aware of that, and that's why he tried to cleanse the house and purify it, and also broke 2 mirrors that were in there originally because he believed that they might act as portals for the evil spirits to enter from. Regardless, this time around, when he returned, he found many items scattered randomly across the house, which was weird but also acceptable since the elderly lady had also said that she did experience similar activity before. He began in the kitchen, where he held a candle and walked around with it, although he didn't capture anything suspicious. There was a door that was stuck for no reason, as if someone was holding it from the back. When he set up his cameras and decided to take a nap, the paranormal kicked in for real, moving chairs around in the kitchen, the camera malfunctioning and losing focus, while also being thrown around. When the investigator woke up, he felt like his head was spinning after a not-so-nice nap. Eventually, things concluded when the door of one of the closets began swinging on its own.
И перестал. А нет. Особенно в этом месте. Вот тут вот. Так, надо посмотреть, что там наверху. Наверху тоже свеча горит. Сущность изгнать быстро невозможно. Просто невозможно. И тем более я не знаю, с кем я имею дело. Если бы сущность отвечала хотя бы по ЭГФу, можно было предположить, к примеру, может это демон был бы какой-то. Или, возможно, какой-то призрак. А так как ответа вообще не было, я пока не знаю, с кем конкретно я имею дело. меня судьбу. Эта сущность не покинула эту квартиру. Я надеюсь, этот телефон вообще хоть записывал. Это реально плохо. Опять этот шкаф. Довольно странно. Послушай, если ты пытаешься
I mentioned that I wasn't sure if the investigator owned the property despite the transcription saying he was, because of the fact that he didn't know what was up in the attic, but maybe he just didn't bother checking around too much. I mean, you can't tell me that the ghost decided to bring in some dishes and pots and store them up there for him. You also can't tell me that somehow you made it all the way here and didn't subscribe or watch the next video on screen.